Hey everybody, we're live with some very sad news. Uh, Alameda. Oh gosh, Laney College athletic director John Beam was shot in the head uh, by a someone who intended to do what they did and fled the scene, and they're still at large. And so I'm I've got I'm on with my once boss, longtime friend, um, former Oakland mayor, and also former Peralta Community College District Chancellor Elihu Harris, who hired John Beam. And hey, boss, thanks a lot for coming on. What are your thoughts about John Beam?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you talk about sad and just tragic news, John Dean was just a great human being, cared about students, cared about athletes, cared about everybody, and particularly those who served on his football team. And he helped so many students make that transition to becoming nice young men, in some cases professional athletes, who owed their lives, if not their careers, to his commitment to them and to improving the quality of their life, and not just football players, but as human beings. And so for this to happen at Laney College, where he'd given so much of his life and so much commitment to those young people, is not ironic. It's even more tragic.
Hey, coach, boss, what do you think it says that we've had this event? We had the Skyline event just days ago. Uh, how how do we deal with this? I mean, I'm just
Well,
asking.
obviously, whatever the reason, it certainly didn't justify this. You know, we need to understand that young people, particularly, don't seem to understand nonviolent conflict resolution. We don't know the motivation. We don't know whether or not it was some robbery or something, but it was certainly, to me, intentional. And the question is, why? Why would someone take someone who's given so much to so many and want to uh, do them bodily or fatal harm? I'm not sure there's any explanation or rationality, so I'm not even going to try to explain it. I think it's really just a sad reality that someone who was so nice, so kind, so giving would have their lives taken in this manner.
And caring. And let's not forget, folks, 10 years ago, Coach Beam pushed for the Coliseum to be made available to the uh, high schools like Skyline and the OAL and Laney College. And then he was given
Yeah.
the gift of being on the. I'm going to merge this. Hold on a second. Well, I'll just take it. I was Alton Jelks calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to try to merge the calls, but out of respect for your time, I won't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I talked to Alton, and I think he's going to tell you what I'm telling you. He didn't know that I was going to call
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so tell
you.
us take us back to when you hired him. What did you see in him where you said, this is the man for the
Well,
job?
But first of all, what he was doing the skyline, uh,
Yeah.
he was such, he had great teams. His athletes loved him. And he was somebody who really cared about students. And that's the kind of people we wanted, working with young people who often came from disadvantaged backgrounds, had very little opportunity for college education, much less to be at a college level of sports, even community college level. And he went out, he recruited them, not just from Oakland, but throughout the area, looking for quarterbacks and all the other positions that are necessary to have a great football team. And he produced great teams because he really went out, and the students knew not only was he committed to success on the field, but he was going to help them as human beings, as athletes, and to go on to four-year schools, to go on to professional careers whenever he could help them. Even after they no longer played for him, he was still connected to them, still committed to them. And I think that's the kind of human being that I wanted at Laney College. And he did that. And when the opportunity to promote him to athletic director came, it wasn't even a close call.
It has to be noted, folks, that Coach Beam put 20 players in the National Football League. So his the tentacles of his success stretched all the way to the top of the football world.
Well,
Um,
that's one of the things. He had the opportunity to go into four-year schools, but he wanted to work with the young people who most needed the opportunity to get into college, who never would have had an opportunity but for his commitment to them and the maximization of their personal careers as well as their athletic careers.
you gotta wonder, something like this, will it make it harder to recruit the Coach Beams of the future or today?
No, I don't think so, but I think it does say a lot about trying to be committed to people who are often just in trouble in their lives. Some of these are people that had criminal backgrounds that he gave an opportunity to get into college sports. But again, you go out and you stick yourself out. You put yourself out to those who are not only disadvantaged, but often people with very suspicious, not dangerous backgrounds, because you believe in the human condition and the maximization of potential, and that people can be redeemed. I hope we don't lose that spirit, the willingness to give people a second chance,
Right.
a third chance sometimes. He had that kind of a spirit. He saw the good in people and the good in his athletes, even when other people didn't. And for those who take that lightly, there are a lot of people who give up on people. He was one of those who was, if he gave up on you, you really were in bad shape. He really believed in the potential for almost everybody that he met, and certainly had that kind of a positive attitude. It's just hard to believe that anyone couldn't understand and appreciate that human value and that level of commitment.
It makes you wonder if the person who took his life was somebody that he was trying to save, and somehow it turned left.
Well, I think it may be somebody who, for reason perhaps of their own making, was cut from the football team. I'm looking at it potentially for a former athlete who perhaps, did not maintain the values, the commitments, the requirements for being on that football team. May have been got cut, and as a result came back believing that their being dismissed from the team was something that was either unjust or should be punished with obviously the steps that they were taken. I don't know if that to be the case. We don't know why it happened. It certainly wasn't right, and we'll have to wait and find out if we do, it can, why it happened. There's no explanation, no justification, but certainly at least I like to understand the thinking of the individual that performed this incredibly sinister act.
Definitely. Hey, boss. I don't know what we can say, but
I think we have to say, look, too much of this, too much tragedy,
yes,
certain loss of life, and when you have someone who was so committed and benefited so many, it really exemplifies and amplifies what's wrong with our community.
Mm-hmm.
That someone thinks that you can take a life and somehow that's justified even in your own mind. There's no justification for this, and I don't want to hear rationality, and I really just can't even begin to understand what anyone would thinking to kill someone who was so committed to the maximization of his athletes as just a good person. He was genuinely a good person.
We have to move. We have to take the guns off the street. I don't see any other way.
Well, there are people who would fight. We should take the guns off the street. I don't want to get off of that because I believe in gun control. But there are people who will find guns or knives or weapons and kill.
Right.
And it's just hard to figure out what do you do with people who lose their soul.
Right.
And will take someone's life other than self-defense or war.
Yeah, Satan's at work. We gotta get Satan out of the business.
Yeah, well, I certainly would love to begin to understand the rationality for this, because this is a person that, certainly I can understand anger, disappointment, but this, inexplicable.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, boss. Hey, stick around.
Okay.
All right. Hey, boss, don't go anywhere. Hey, everybody, thank you for this. We'll be back with more on this very extremely sad day in the history of our town. Man, there will be an empty seat at the Coliseum board, too, as he was board member. All right, that is a string. Okay.